Hello everyone and welcome to my review of Spongebob Heropants released not too long ago. When it comes to Spongebob games, I love the majority of them, if not all the ones I've played. I've only played up to Really Lights, Camera Pants, and a little bit of Creature from the Krusty Krab, and I gave up after that. So this is my first new Spongebob game since that. This game any good? The game is basically a tie-in with the movie and takes place after, I think. In terms of Sponge Out of Water, I think it's a fantastic movie. I've already seen it twice in the theaters now. While it's not as good as the first movie, it's still pretty good. So the game takes place after, I think. And Bubbles, who was in the movie, Talking Dolphin, says that the pages to the mystical book have gone missing and SpongeBob with friends have to get them to save the world. So SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, Sandy, Mr. Krabs, and Plankton head to save Bikini Bottom. The game is a 3D platformer with a tiny bit of beat 'em up. You can play as the characters I just mentioned. The only console version of the game is on 360 for some reason. It's also on 3DS and Vita. So I'm going to go over the controls. A is to jump, and every character can also double jump. X is a very basic attack, it's just kind of like a swing. Y is to throw a nasty patty. These are found throughout the levels and are means of projectiles. And B turns into a superhero. Now, under your health is a meter that is constantly filling up. It fills up just over time. You don't need to do anything to fill it up. Once it fills up, you can become a superhero by pressing B. As a regular character, you are slow, have a lame attack, and can't jump very high. But when you go super, you have a much longer range of attack. You can run faster, you can jump higher, and have a real projectile. Each character has a special projectile attack, but besides that, all the characters play exactly the same. The game is significantly more enjoyable when you are super, trust me. Throughout the game, you are given a ton of just various platforming challenges. These range from simple to are you kidding me difficulty. I get that's a kid's game, but Battle for Bikini Bottom had just legitimate difficulty even to this day. There is a lot of platforming in this game though. When you're not platforming, you are probably fighting. Combat is super simple in the game. You mash the X button on enemies until they die. You can throw nasty patties if you want, but mashing the X buttons worked fine for me. When you're super, it's even easier. Everything dies in one hit. The enemies in the game are very few, and they all just rush at you with one exception. It's a volcano that shoots rocks at you. There's coins in the game. A lot of coins. These coins can be used to upgrade your characters, and I recommend upgrading superpowers first so you can be super as much time as possible. There are also a few other stats to upgrade though. In terms of levels in the game, you go through Bikini Bottom, Prehistoric Age, maybe? And SpongeBob's dream that is based off the movie when Plankton goes in his head. The locations are extremely boring. These are spread across 15 levels, totaling in and around 3 hours. In every level there are pages to find for the book and a golden trophy. A few different small puzzles are given to you, like get the keys or press the switches, but that's the most complicated it gets. The game has co-op, and to get a lot of stuff in the game, co-op is required. However, I only have one controller as of right now. All the voice actors show up, and I have to say they do a great job with the voices on all levels, though some stuff is repeated a little too much for me. Okay, while it seems this game may be decent, this game unfortunately has many issues. First off is the graphics. This game just looks bad. I get that it's a completely budget title and it's only priced at $40, but these graphics could easily be home to like an early Xbox 360 game, if not a late PS2 game. And they look barely anything actually above the last movie game's graphics, and that game came out 11 years ago. Everything is just very low on the graphics department. Models, cutscenes, textures, literally everything is just so outdated and underwhelming. The frame rate in the game actually dropped a lot also, which was really just kind of weird. When stuff got crazy, the frames dropped and it was just kind of annoying. There was also a lot of stuttering in the game, and really it was obvious that the game wasn't tested. I mean, there's a significant amount of clipping issues and just all around glitches. You can totally see that this game was rushed out the door to meet the release date. The sound in the game, besides voice acting, is not very good either. The sound effects are more generic than you would think. They're just bland and not standing out for SpongeBob at all. The music is so generic stock SpongeBob music that I just really can't even comment on it. I mean, I stopped watching SpongeBob after season 5, and I'm not really a fan of the music after that either. And I'm not really a fan of the music in this game. It kind of actually puts me to sleep. Which brings up my biggest problem with the game. The game is such a painfully average, boring experience all the way through. The game literally looks the same for pretty much the entire game, and the gameplay is just so generic and boring that it does absolutely nothing to stand out. It's just that boring. Stereotype puzzles, moving blocks, everything the game does is just by the numbers and boring. There's one boss in the whole game and I defeated it crazy fast. The combat is more of a joke than the platforming. It's just press X a bunch of times. The game's also not even 4 hours. If you want to get the good ending, you have to get all the pages, and I couldn't get all the pages because I couldn't play co-op. So I got the bad ending. What a way to extend the game by like an hour. One thing I will say is that this game has some really easy achievements though. Each one is worth 50 gamer score, and some of them are as simple as beating the first level or never dying in a level. But really this game is just what I think is an under-average, generic, shovelware game that does not need to be played by anyone. Not even SpongeBob fans. Go play the last SpongeBob movie game. It's so much better. With by-the-numbers, generic, boring gameplay, outdated visuals, and only around 4 hours of gameplay at the most, this game is the definition of shovelware. Something that does not need to be played by even the biggest SpongeBob fans. Please let Heavy Iron Studios make another SpongeBob game. I don't recommend this game to anyone. I will say go see the movie though. The movie I recommend. Or play the movie game from 11 years ago. It's much better and far superior. And I've uploaded an entire Let's Play without any commentary of the game if you're still interested for some reason in this game. So you can check that out. The game is just really not worth playing at all, though. And I don't recommend anyone plays it. I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles. I'll see you guys on my next review.
Are you out of your mind? Do you have any idea what they do to people like us? We're not talking about some dumb mail fraud schemer hijacking here. We stole a balloon! And they're gonna lock us up forever!